welcome to Ask Away Wednesday, where we're going to answer some of your top questions around data governance, data security, and how that pertains to Alter. Today's question is RBAC versus ABAC versus XBAC for data access control. How do you know what's best, James?
I think, very similar to a lot of things in technology and a lot of things with data too. It really just depends upon your use case and depends on which Gartner or Forrester analyst you follow or which vendor you follow. These are all different ways in which to enforce access patterns for data inside of cloud data warehouses, in particular Snowflake in this case. And Chris, we've been a part of a number of organizations now where everything is done by the person or by the role. So whether Active Directory controls everything, or Okta is doing it, they have some identity provider in there, where everything is focused on roles and all the rules are focused on roles, and they have these very detailed role hierarchies. We continue to see the same sort of inherited structure at larger organizations, which makes me think there's some blog post or somebody important that's kind of telling people about that. You also hear about the attribute base if you follow some of the other vendors that are in our space. Whether those attributes are tags on data or sensitivity statuses or location of where the data was originated. The attributes that are associated to the data could lead you to build access patterns differently. The XBAC is in there because there's things like purpose-based. If you've got privacy type considerations where you're making sure that you've got the right business use case and the right business users for the right data. And I'm sure we're going to hear about, constellation-based access or horoscope-based access, coming soon where, Libras access it this way, but Tauruses get to do it this way because Tauruses are better, which I think that's pretty sure. And so all of these patterns to say are there to fit your business, and there's no one size fits all. And we at Alter strive to have a platform that's generic enough that can meet you where you are today. So I think as you're thinking about what type of access patterns you might want to establish, there's kind of three categories you can think about. You can think, does my data change frequently? Do my users and roles change frequently? Or do my rules and regulations and policies change frequently? And you can vary each one of those toggle switches. You can be a yes or a no on each of those. And as you move those switches, your little state machine will spit out a different access pattern that probably makes the most sense for you. So there's some materials online on our site that kind of talk about this. You can go look at it there, but just think about, what are you trying to solve for? Do you have new data all the time, or is your data static? Do you have new users all the time, or are your users static? And then do you have rules and regulations and access policies that change, or are those static? So I think the X is there, Chris, to kind of future-proof this in here. And using a platform like Alter can be very flexible and dynamic and kind of meet you where your business is, because even though we all use maybe the same database, Snowflake, that's probably about the only thing that's similar across different customer sites.
Yeah, unless all of the customers came from the same consulting shop. But the other thing I would say, just kind of complementary to that, is what I've noticed just going through a bunch of customer use cases is the construct for managing those attributes and those kinds of properties around who can access the data and the data itself changes as you get granular. So at the Snowflake account level, it's users and roles, but then as you get closer to the data, it's tags. And what can I do with this tag? And does this data have a certain classification level? And kind of getting into what you were talking about earlier about the extensibility. And again, we have a number of use cases that we've seen that we've successfully deployed into where we're able to contemplate almost all of that in the platform. So really hope that answered your question. Whoever, out there asked that question, please send more. Tune in next week. We're going to answer more questions. Like, comment, subscribe, anything below there. And we'll be here next week. Thank you.
Thank you.